What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the 4D Owl and today we're going to be going over how to draw the human head in a profile view, and I'm going to be using the same techniques that I used in the last video for drawing the head in a front facing view, the good old-fashioned Loomis method. You can't go wrong with that one, honestly. Stick with it and your carrots will grow just right. Okay guys, the way I like to start is obviously with my nice circle, right? Get your circle down, take a couple practice shots at it, and honestly some of these wild circles that you draw on there can be used for faces to draw and use this method later on, right? So just get a couple down there. If they're not perfect, try to get them a little bit more circle-like, right? Get yourself a couple down. So first thing you want to do is, after you get your circle, that is, go ahead and drop your vertical line. Now the vertical line decides the length or how tall or narrow or short your face is, right? And then the horizontal line will decide how wide your face is gonna look or how slim it's gonna look in a side perspective. Next thing is the circle that goes in the center of the bigger circle, right? So you got this thing right here. Oh, that's not too good. All right. More like that, right? And now if you're wondering how big you should make this circle, I mean, there's really no exact dimensions to this, not that I've learned. So it's really all about your judgment and how you think it should look, really. If you want, try to get it about the size of mine in comparison to yours. Next thing, you're gonna throw down these lines that are gonna tell you how wide or how long your face is. Like I mentioned earlier, these lines will tell you or decide how wide and long and squishy squashy your face will be. Next thing, right? So for me, I like to go for the ear first because it kind of tells me how far back the chin line is gonna be, right? This technically is supposed to decide that, but whenever I use that line, it always comes out just a little too squashed for me. So I always like to decide how thick I want it by first just throwing down this right here. Throw down that line, and the way you find this chin is using this right here, the distance between, or a third of the head basically, because that's really what it is. You'd have your chin, right, as 1, then where your eyes and your nose fall is 2, and then where your eyebrows and your forehead fall, which would be 3. That's why I say 1/3. So 1/3 of that. And once you get that down, like I said earlier, I like to put the ear a little bit further back, just because I always tend to get the face just a little bit too squashed for my liking, right? So next thing, you want to draw the back of the line or the back of the jaw. You want to put it at a nice slightly slanted angle, just to make it look like it's really going with the flow of everything else. So you see how this line is kind of crooked? It's not like perfectly straight, so you really want to follow that line a little bit. There you go. Then you want to bring this out to try to connect it to this right here, this point of the chin, the tip of the chin. But it's not just this and then you connect it like that. That's a different type of drawing right there. You want to flatten this out. So flatten that out so you can really see the angles that you're getting out of this, right? Next, you want to decide where your eyes are going to be. And the way I like to decide that is I throw down this halfway point between here and here, right? Easy and done. And then once you get that halfway point, you can go ahead and draw that across the face. And then where the eye goes, I like to put it right here. It just feels comfortable. You've got a nice little pocket for where your eye can sit, right there in that little cube, rectangle, whatever is going on in yours. And then just draw your eye in, right? Next would be the eyebrow. I like to go like somewhat halfway, but for like men, the eyebrows tend to be lower. As with women, their eyebrows tend to be higher. I don't know if that's like when they go get their eyebrows lined up or beeswaxed off. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So this is where I like to put my eyebrow, right in between there. And I do really thick, gnarly looking eyebrows. Like these aren't like your traditional eyebrows or whatever. So this is how I like to do eyebrows. And I have this little spiky thunderbolt kind of thing at the end. I always like to make that high point really high. So There you go. That's how I do an eyebrow. Obviously it's a little big, but hey, that's my style, right? Even though it could use some practice. And then your eyelid, just go right there. You can put a little eyelid at the bottom one, but not too much, right? And that's how you get your face. Really, that's really all the steps you need to know. Next thing would be where you put your nose, and really you just want to find the halfway point between your eye, right there. This point right here, right? So once you find that point, you can make your nose however you want. Say I want to give him a big old nose. He's like a older gentleman, so we'll give him a big nose. You know what I'm saying? And the way the nose works is really like this. I like to think of it either as a right angle, right? You have this, and then you just bring it out. You can make a right angle out of it. You know what I'm saying? Or a slightly acute angle. So, and it really depends on what your reference looks like. Like it could be a little bit more narrow like this, where it's like coming down a little further and a little slimmer. But it's really all about what you're looking at or how you like your eyes. And then you can just mark this halfway point, and that would generally be the mouth, right? And then for the forehead, you kind of, the forehead is a little tricky because you want to slant it back. Like you don't want to follow the circle too much. You want to slant the forehead back a little bit, right? Right. All right. And then for the neck, I like to do two kind of arcs. I want to say two hills. Let's call them the hills or the valleys, whatever. And the first valley would stop right where the chin line is, right there, right? And then I would start out the next one a little further back. And the way you figure out the full length of this valley is by taking another third of the head. So if this is the full third of the head, the back of the neck would stop somewhere around there. And then for where the front of the neck starts, where your Adam apples and all that is, I like to find this point where the eye is, the front of the eye, and I bring that down right there. And then I'll kind of just make a nice triangle, right? And then I'll make this little hill right there. And then just bring your neck around. And there you go. That's the first one down. All right, let's go to the next one. Again, so let's say this person's looking slightly up, or maybe let's give them a more extreme angle up maybe. So start with your vertical line, or honestly, no. Let's do something different. Let's start with the horizontal line, just because he's looking at such an extreme angle. Best to decide where he's looking first, or she. Doesn't matter what you're drawing, right? Then you drop your vertical line and try to just keep this as even as possible. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, just try to keep it as even as possible. So once you get that, you're gonna do the same thing as before. You're gonna drawing your circle within the circle. Put down your points as to where or how wide the face is gonna be, the dimensions of the face, right? Once you do that, again, if you don't like to start off by drawing the front of the face first, you don't have to. Start off wherever you like. That's just what I like to do. So I'd say he's looking like this, right? This is what he's looking like. And then once you figure out the full length of the chin, I want to say his chin stops there. I like to go to the ear. And for the ear, you can, if it's too hard to make it curved, to make a really angular looking ear, right? Like it doesn't have to be a perfectly curved ear. And then you have your slightly slanted chin, or the back of the jaw, and try to align this again. Try to align it with the center line that you already have inside the head. So make it slightly curved, but don't overdo it. Once you get that, bring it down at an angle. And that angle is really decided by who you're looking at, again, your reference. If they've got a wider jaw, give them a wider jaw, or a bigger chin, give them a bigger chin. So next, you find the placement for your eye. Remember, halfway point. Right, you've got your cube now for your little space for the eye. And then you're gonna draw that in, and there you go. And then for the nose, remember that wherever the face is pointing, you want the angle to almost be perpendicular to it. So basically, if this is this, then you want it to be like this, or like think of like a flat line, and then try to kind of angle it however it really feels comfortable to you. Just don't make it too like the nose like this and try to put that on his face. That's not gonna work. All right, you guys know what you're doing. So you find that halfway point between the eye, and then your nose should come down to about here, because that's about where the nose line is. And this guy's got a really big honker. So there you go. Now you got your nose. And like I said before, the head or the forehead is at a slight angle. There you go. Then your eyebrow, right? Right here. I like to do wonky looking eyebrows, thunderbolts and whatnot. There's your eyebrow. A little high, but whatever. You got your eyelid right there. Then all you're gonna do is come in, draw your neck, right at that point. And remember, this side pinches, and this side opens up like this. And that's kind of how you want to have your neck. So if he's looking that high up, the front of his neck should be curved like this, and the back should be curved like that. So find the front of where his eye is, right? Find the front of where his eye is. Make that little thing where his neck starts. Get your Adam's apple in there. And then again, the length of the neck is just a third of the face, right? And then this angle right here, it doesn't have to stay this rigid. You can throw a couple curved lines in there to make it look a little more natural. And then you throw in the base of the neck. Now you've got your head right there looking up. Let's make one that's looking down at an extreme angle. Well, there's another technique I want to show you guys. Very similar, but it cuts out a lot of the work, honestly. So, do another one of these, right? So you got your circle in there now, right? Got your circle in there. What you can do is put your points down, right? Get your points as usual, and then almost just make a triangle. That's literally all it is. From this point of the chin, straight to the right there. kind of smoothen this out a little bit, right? And now you've got a much simplified face. Kind of had this, you could skip a couple steps. And this is more for like a cartoon style, like maybe an anime style, I would say. At least that's what I would call it, right? Because it kind of skips some of the extra angles that are in the face, but you know, it still gets the job done. Ugh, draw his eyebrows like that, right? There you go. That eyebrow. Give him a little smug mouth because, you know, he's a cool anime kid. Give him a smaller nose. Nice forehead. Maybe he's got a 5 head. I don't know. Alright. See, and I guess I'd make this neck a little slimmer just because he's like, he looks like he's a slimmer dude. Just because he looks like he's a slimmer dude. Right? And you can use that method. It's a little bit more for cartoons, but if you like it, go ahead and do it. Alright guys, thank you for watching the video. You guys can go ahead and leave a comment, a subscription, and go ahead and like. Turn on your notifications if you liked what you saw. Let me know what you guys actually want to see. You know what I'm saying? This is all stuff that I assume people want to learn. But if you guys want to see me like do finished pieces or actually see what my art style is like, you can also go check out my Instagram account at 4DOwl. You can go see all my finished artwork there. But besides that, I guess I'll see you guys around again. All right, check all you owlets out.